This time in the Inland Empire, I go car shopping again. Well, as you can see, the fella rocked up in the car, which is a Kelly Green ZF Fairlane, which is 1972, 351 Cleveland, long wheelbase car, looks awesome. I didn't do any filming because I didn't want to get the camera all up in this bloke's face, but basically went for a test drive, really tidy car, doesn't need much work at all, but easily a cruiser. Jump in and cruise this thing. I'm on my way home now to think about it because I don't want to rush into these things, and yeah, come up with a decision soon. So anyway, I bought it, obviously. I went home and thought about it for a little bit, and then just decided to pull the trigger. Like I said, as I see this thing, it's basically money in my garage instead of money in the bank. So if I need to sell it, I will, but in the meantime, I'm going to cruise it. I ended up getting it for a pretty good price. The guy reluctantly let it go, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It's a freaking awesome cruiser. It drives so nice, power steering. It's got a bit of a tricked up trans in it, 351. Yeah, a little bit of a hottie, not nothing. It's probably pretty mild, but it's got a few little go fast bits on it. And overall, just a wicked cruiser. So I'm pretty much driving home for the first time. So I'm just going to pull up. I'll give you guys a walk around, and then first things first. As soon as I get home, this thing's getting a set of red walls. Alright, here it is, 72 Fairlane. Pretty tidy. It's been resprayed at some stage in its life. I'm not sure if it was original white roof, but it's factory 351. Would have been factory 9-inch, but it's been converted to Borg Warner, unfortunately. But yeah, it's got some goodies on it. It's reset springs, Edelbrock intake manifold, 650 carby, got a tricked up trans, extractors. Overall, it's pretty tidy, all original inside. Got the parchment trim. Pretty clean car. Unfortunately, there's a B&M in it. I don't like those, but it's in it. I'll be taking this thing off because I don't like that. Aside from that, the body is really good. There's next to no rust. The boot's the worst of it. There's a few little spots here. Look, kangaroo. Anyway, the boot is the worst of it. There's a couple of little tiny bits of rust here, and a little ding, but I'm not too concerned about that. Overall, it is dead straight. It looks wicked. It hardly even needs a polish. So it's got a stupid bloody aerial thing in the middle of the roof, which sucks. So that's coming off, and I need to chase up a factory badge for the front. Aside from that, it's good to go. So I'm going to head home now. Give this thing a wipe down and throw a set of red walls on it. Alright, day 2 with the Fairlane. Obviously last night, first thing I did was put a set of red walls on it. Been driving around last night, drives really nice. There's a few little things I've got to sort out, which you're sort of going to get with any old car. But for now, I'm going to head over to my XB Ute that I've got over here in the paddock. I bought it a couple of years ago, and I've decided I'm going to get it out and at least give it a coat of primer just so it's all one colour, because it kills me having it sitting here in the paddock looking rough. So we're going to head over there now, clean the back of that out and get stuck into that. Alright, so over at the Ute now, it's basically been used to store a lot of junk. Mustang bonnet and some bits and pieces in there, so I'm going to tidy that all up. But basically this car, same thing, bought it spare of the minute. It's got a lot of good bits on it. It's got a GS dash in it, which you can't see now, but I'll pop the door soon. GS dash, got GS bonnet. It came with a GS grille, and it's running a 351 Cleveland, and it's a runner and a driver, but obviously she's a little rough around the edges. The body actually isn't too shabby on it. The other side's pretty bad. Like in one spot it's pretty shitty, but the rest of it's pretty good. I've got a brand new old stock tailgate skin to go on it, which is actually interesting because these ran from XA all the way through to X8. So that's 1972 all the way through to 1999 or 98. Same tailgate, so I got one of those to go on it. And yeah, like I said, today I just want to scrape off all the old gunk, give it a buzz back, and then just give it a hit with just some single pack primer, just so at least it's all one colour. And then I'll be putting it in the shed to preserve what's left of it. So aside from some plastic and some old beer bottles in the back of this tub, there's actually some goodies under this bonnet here, but the actual bonnet is really cool. It's like a 69-ish, I think, era Mustang bonnet. Looks like it had a scoop in it at one stage, but I'm thinking that might make some pretty good shed art. So if I can replace that scoop, I'll probably be hanging that in the shed. So I'm in the big F truck, heading down to Kersbrook to get some fuel, and it died, like flick of a switch, killed. So initially I thought it was a gas problem, but checked the solenoid, that was all working. Turn it over, still nothing. So I checked for spark and it seemed like it was getting nothing. Sure enough, points snapped. It actually was cracked. It hadn't snapped completely like that, but it snapped and it wasn't actually springing back and forth. So I pulled them out and they snapped in my hand. So luckily I stopped out front of the neighbour's house, the neighbours who took my ramp that used to be at my place. And I'm gonna get a lift back and then raid one of the cars. Hopefully there's something back there with some points in it. Otherwise this is staying here for the night. Well, that sucks. So now I'm raiding parts from the car that I actually wanted to start up in the first place. I was actually going to get fuel for this bloody thing. I'm gonna go check out the other XB over here. I've got, you know what? 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 Clevelands here. So surely one of them, preferably one that I don't want to start up in a minute, has a points ignition. So this one is a ZH Fairlane, 302 Cleveland in it. I got this from Ian, the farmer next door, and I don't know what they are factory. I think it should be points. Damn it! That's electronic. Shit, not good. I could probably just put the whole ignition system in the car, but I'd like to just swap some points on the side of the road. All right, plan B. Plan B is the XB. Electronic. This is not looking good. Plan C is another XB, which I think is going to be points. Alright, so that's got points, but it's a twin point ignition. So that's totally different. The last one is my Fairlane. I don't really want to raid points from my new car. Let's have a look. All I wanted was some petrol. Oh yeah, that is exactly what I need. Of course it had to be on this bloody car. Now I have to decide whether I'm pulling the points out of this thing to go rescue that car, bring it home, or just get Ian in the tractor to tow me back. So I decided that I'll have a crack at swapping over these points until I realised that I took most of my tools home, didn't bring them back. So I then decided that I'll improvise. Luckily, to do points, you really only need a flathead screwdriver. So all I have is a reciprocating saw, blade. I cut the end to resemble a flathead screwdriver. And I attempt to get these points out and then walk back to my truck and put them in that. This is probably going to be a great time to update the ignition on this and probably even the F-truck as well, because points is a bit old school. And it looks like I've got a couple of electronic dizzies over there, so I might be doing a bit of a swapsies. All right, let's see if this blade works. My makeshift screwdriver needs some revision. I'm going to address that and then try again. Screwdriver revised. Oh yeah. New screwdriver works a treat. Alright, those points look pretty good. Now I'm going to walk back to my truck. Bonus. I get a lift back. Yeah, great. Hitchhiking with a bloody carpenter. Alright. Thank you. I'll get it sorted. Otherwise I'm walking home. Alright, catch ya. That was easy. Now for total win. Anyway. Alright, get on the higher lobe. And I'm just going to set this by eye and then use this handy hacksaw blade to give me a depth reading. It's a bit thick, but I'll go on the narrower side of that. They're in. All right, let's check for spark. I ended up cleaning the end of the rotor button on the road. It was just a bit gunked over, so I scraped it up nice and clean. Usually you'd use like emery paper. And that's all it was, just a shitty connection. Really weak spark, so I think I'll be upgrading this ignition system for sure. Alright, first things first, now that I've got back with the fuel, I'm going to get the Fairlane running again, because that's my way home. So once the Fairlane's running, then if I've got some daylight left, I'll get the XB going and try and get that over to the shed here. But yeah, I haven't even had a bloody chance to get into that, and I'm going to run out of daylight. So, but there's always tomorrow, so see how we go, and then we'll be back here again. obviously got the XB over, got just enough trans fluid in it to get it over here, and standard out of daylight. So I'll back into it tomorrow and see if I can get it looking a bit more reasonable. Next day, obviously the Fairlane, I didn't mention in the video that I got the points back out of the F100 into the Fairlane, got home last night, no worries. And then I've come back here this morning to continue on with the XB, or actually start the XB, and I've left my orbital sander at home. So I'm peaking. But I'm gonna get as much done as I can with my grinder and a couple other tools that I have. This thing definitely won't get into any form of primer today. Even if it's a 2-part video, is what it is. All right, so to no one's surprise, this car has turned out to be way rougher than I was hoping. As soon as I started buzzing back, the edges, it's just rusted out hardcore. Obviously it's just had a bog job in the past, and yeah, look, it's beyond any sort of quick tidy up. You know, I was hoping I was going to be able to expose the problem areas and then feather the rest out and then give it all a coat of primer, so at least all the rust repairs are sort of, also the rust sections are exposed, so it's clear what's got to be done. But this is just getting deeper and deeper the further I go on. So look, I'm going to backburn this project for now. It's not on my list of priorities, unfortunately, so that's going to be another day job, and I might move on to something next week, maybe the XC, or we've got another Holden in there, which will lead us to another video that I started many months ago that no one's seen yet. So I've got to try and recoup all that footage, because that's all sort of in another phone. So I'll do my best to sort of scrape all that up. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else to do now. As for now, I'm just enjoying this Fairlane and a pretty handy winter's day up here at Forreston. So that'll do it for this week's episode. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe, leave me a comment, tell me what you want to see. It doesn't mean I'm going to get to it, but I'm going to do my best. This is obviously a part-time gig for me, so I do my best to get to all these projects. And check out the online store. All the support so far has been amazing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers, guys.